knowledge that I had. Like, if you're a complete psycho, then yeah.
But you
Yeah,
saw
there's massive
signs in your
stereotype
mum,
attached.
like you saw signs in your mum to say something's not right there. Did you?
Yeah.
Yo, family.
Okay.
So I'm gonna play this video. What do we think? Yeah.
Alright.
I don't know what. Like, I don't know. This is play. I don't know. Let's go.
Alright, go on.
Can you hear it?
No, nothing yet. No,
No
no
sound.
sound.
Sorry, should have done this. Okay. Boom. Hit the like button, family tree. We in the building. We're talking about real life. We're not talking about other YouTubers. You know, the thing set. Boom. Sarah J, maybe you want to jump on then, man. We have a nice chat. Come join us. You know. All right, let's get into this. Big up Miriam D, Cads, Western Goddess, Willy Wonka. All right, cool. Sarah J, do you want to jump on? I'm sure she's going to introduce herself.
All right, everyone comfortable?
Yeah, babe. You Nubian kings making me hot.
All right. First of all, thank you for letting us be here in your home. We've travelled. London boys, we've come. I want to take this moment today with you to really get the story out that we've only understood a little bit of online. Yeah. Shocked us to the core, and one of the main reasons was because how vibrant and incredible and light you are. And so to be able to share that story so nobly.
Yeah, you'd never assume what obviously you're going to explain. You would have went through from what you present. You're so full of life, full of energy.
They can't break you unless you let them, guys.
Yeah. You have to turn poison to medicine.
Yeah, babe, and purpose, a pain to purpose, you know. And I think that's the big thing that I want to address in this as well, is that, like, I always say, like, life is shit and life is going to throw bricks in your face, but it's about taking them bricks and making a solid house, because it's a foundation, and we all have to build that safe house for ourselves. No one gets out alive, do they, without going through something. And I think sometimes when you can go through something so deep, you can see why the world has carried on these cycles of abuse, because it's just hurting people.
Yeah.
But I'm here.
Yeah, you lot feel free to talk anytime you want. I'll press the mute button.
Do as a collective.
Like, I want us to do like our usual.
Let
me just explain. I want us to do our usual watch along kind of type reaction type thing. So at any point you don't want to chime in, talk, ask a question or whatever, just feel free. Yeah, you lot there with me? Yeah.
Yeah.
We got you, fam. We got you.
Cool. Kill.
Get under the carpet because I'm sick of it. Right, to be fair.
Yeah. So let's jump straight into it. So we don't know each other that well at all.
Yeah, to be fair, I mean, I know Chris a bit more than you, babe, to be honest, but yeah.
So this is very authentic, this conversation. It's going to be very real. And so I would love to know, just first of all, about your childhood and growing up and where you're from.
Yeah, because how it started, like, well, this is the thing. And I think through my timeline, you'll see, like, how a lot of people will be able to relate to this, but also how easy this is to happen. Because I was just a normal girl from Manchester. Proud Northerner, and I was brought up in a really loving home. Like, my mum and dad, they loved me and my sibling like so much. They were great parents. Unfortunately, the only thing is that they didn't love each other, and they were amazing to us, but to each other they were very toxic. I grew up in a domestic household. We never seen anything, but I guess as a child you're quite intuitive to these things. And you know, different things can happen to different people. Two twins can go for the same thing and act differently. And I think when my mum and dad split up when I was about 10, 11, I thought my whole world was breaking down. You had this social construct. You know what I mean? You needed mum, a dad, a picketed fence. You need a dog. You know what I mean? Everything's meant to be the Brady Bunch. And it's bullshit. It's not like that. And I guess my little world started to fall apart, and I started to fall apart with it. As a young girl, I was confusing love with attention. So I was going out with older people. I was drinking on the streets. I started smoking weed. That was kind of how I started to cope with, like, I guess, like, just the dealing with the whole mum and dad issue and just growing up in a broken home. And this is why I need to touch on this so much, because this is where the vulnerability starts. Within society, we have a lot of what we like to call forgotten children, and they're children that are brought up in care, broken homes, you know, in situations where the social services have to get involved. And unfortunately, perpetrators are around. And then when I started to get out of school, 16, I left school. I then got introduced to a lady, and I guess that's where the Wicked Witch of the West path started.
So school was kind of ordinary, normal for you?
Yeah, I guess it was normal in the sense of like how normal can be. Like, we was a bit naughty kids in school, I'm not gonna lie. I was wagging it, like, you know, I guess I'd got given this hidden responsibility of looking after my sister at a bit of a younger age.
Hold
So
on, Jits. Pause it,
advantage
please.
of that. And I think because I was feeling so rebellious, like, I guess I was a bit naughty. Like, you know, I would wag school, I would go out. It's mad. The kids, the people go to school might kill me now, but who cares? We used to go out at dinner and drink and then go back to school. Do you know what I mean? So we'd be going into school, got drunk teenagers. The things you do you know what I mean? And that's why I think now more than ever we need to protect our younger generations, because if I was doing that at my age and in our generation.
Sorry, I just stepped out. What did she say? Did I miss anything?
No, I asked you to pause it for a sec because
Okay.
I'm interested. Like, she's saying like, oh, like mum and dad was together, then they broke up from like when she was 11, whatever.
Yeah.
And then she just jumped in to say like, oh, she started like looking for attention by drinking and smoking weed and
yeah.
But like, I don't know, just because I feel like the way she dropped it, it's just like, oh, because my mum and dad broke up, I don't know. But she's not given like any kind of background context of
what she said. She heard
where mum and dad was.
She grew up in she said there was domestic violence in the house, even though she didn't hear it. Even though she didn't see it. I think maybe she said she heard it, or like you could feel it. They were very toxic to each other. The parents were. So I think she's saying basically the ramifications of whatever madness was running, she was picking up on, and it was affecting her.
And what night her mum and dad was like really checking for her from the age of 11 to 16, basically.
Maybe. But she didn't really say that either, because she said they were great parents to her.
I think it sets the foundation. Like, it's a foundation thing. So like when the foundation isn't strong, it kind of you're sent out into the world with even more vulnerability than
she's giving you like a context, so you understand how she thinks.
We got Sarah J. Walk on.
Hey.
You alright?
Yeah, I was in the background just listening. I hope you guys are all well.
Yeah, we good, man.
Good, thank you.
Yeah, we're good. Nice to have you on the panel.
Yeah,
it's nice.
Okay, so you know this story, so don't bait it up. Yeah, let us.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah.
She explains everything, so just let it run. Yeah.
Okay. What were you gonna say, Annabelle?
No, I was just gonna say this gives us a context into the way she thinks and how her life kind of played out.
Yeah. So I think foundation is correct. Because from what I heard, there was some real bombshells about to go down. Like, I seen. Anyway, let's go.
Where all of this pressure of technology and social media is, I think what they're doing now.
How easy is it for them now?
And this is where exploitation comes in, and this is why things like criminal exploitation, county lines, and sexual exploitation are rife now within young people, because they get given this, I guess, moth to a fake flame, artificial world. You know, get these trainers, you're amazing.
Yeah.
Get this attention, you're amazing. You know, and no disrespect to anyone who is in that, you know, world, but you know, when you do see the likes being influenced by people like Kim Kardashian and not talking about how to handle people's mental health, we're going to have a destructive society. and that was the generation before the structured society. So as much as it wasn't non-conventional, I guess it was still good. Like, you know, I was just a confused kid. There was no abuse at home. Like, I had, like I say, the most amazing parents. Like, they were really good to me. And I guess I was just a bit of a naughty kid. But this is why we should stop dismissing naughty kids, because all they want is attention. And we should stop saying that they're naughty and putting them out the room and dismissing them. And we can go on to that later, but that's a big thing that I pride myself in doing now. But yeah, the home life, it was good. It was broken, but it was good. I had 2 happy parents apart, which was in my head, I didn't see it that way, but now looking back, it was the best way it could have been. And they did the best for me that they possibly could.
Who did you spend more time with, like, growing up?
I'll be honest, we would probably spent a bit more time with our dad, but because of the situation, my dad had, because he had to, obviously he was the one that kind of had a bit more time with us. So, and he was like kind of by himself, whereas my mum got a partner and they were supportive. So my dad had to, you know, do all the bills. He was getting, we were getting the dinner tickets and stuff, which is why Boris is a wanker for taking away free school meals, because if it wasn't for things like that, my dad would have struggled even more.
Well, they don't get free school meals no more.
So yeah, I guess it was more equal, but I guess we was more at my dad's house.
He's just trying to.
My dad was trying to get a degree. He was trying to better.
It was all to do with the pandemic and wherever they were getting them when the schools were closed down.
This is where I guess.
But they do get some
potential for perpetrators. And when I left school, that's exactly what happened. I got introduced to this lady, and she was considerably older than it was me and the 2 girls that got introduced to her. And it was mad. This girl, I talked to the girls now, and I was like, you know, do you remember when she was giving us lap dances? An half-naked woman, like in a 16-year-old's face. One of the girls was 15 because she was the youngest in the year. And you know, you kind of think when you look back and you're like, did that fuck, like, you know what I mean? Like when you're kind of like going through your timeline and your trauma, you're like, did that fucking happen that way?
Was it even in my reality?
Yeah, like, because at the time you never realize about this stuff.
So you said you was 3. There's 3.
There was 3 of the girls. There was 3 of us. Yeah, so we just left school, and this girl was highly influential. You know, she had her own house. Like, she at the time she was doing something. She had her own car. You know what I mean? She was smoking weed.
So we're talking about an adult.
Yeah, babe. She was a full-grown adult. She was at least 10 years older than us.
Okay.
Like,
so we're talking about 26.
Yeah, about 25, 26.
And she was giving you lap dances with no one around, just herself.
So basically, she disclosed herself as a stripper. She was always very honest about that. And then she just started being very provocative. Do you know what I mean? Talking about what she was doing, and then showing us, and you know, buying weed. You know, and this is what happened. Like for me, I was again like a moth to a fake flame, and I was like, oh my god. You know, I was obviously looking for a guardian as well because of the home lifestyle, and I was the oldest. So enter this lady. And, you know, I look back now and I realize I was being groomed. But at the time, I had no frigging clue. And, you know, she introduced me to this world, like champagne, cocaine, and robbers. Like, I was 17, you know what I mean? I was like, what the fuck is this about? I remember going to a club with her. Someone got shot in the club. The guy ended up in the car, in the back with us. We had to take him to hospital. She knew certain types of people, babe, you know what I'm saying? And I'm obviously a young girl.
Wow.
It's influential, you need to understand. And obviously it doesn't help. We know how destructive the music industry can be with this kind of things, pimps and hoes. Oh yeah, get them up, do you know what I mean? So, yeah, babe, it's massively glamorized. And this is what, again, we're struggling with today. It's an uphill battle, man. So this girl then at the ages of 17 disclosed a bit more of herself about me. Now, what people need to understand with the grooming process is, again, it's very much like, I always relate this to domestic violence, because they befriend you first, you know, they make you think that they're the best thing since sliced bread. Then it's that isolation, because the isolation is very important so that they can be the ones that you depend on. They can be the ones that you kind of go to. You know, we were kind of brought up, like my dad, bless him, he was doing the best, but we had a screwdriver as a handle, do you know what I mean? Like we didn't have carpet, like it was a bit of first world poverty, do you know what I'm saying? And my dad was doing the best he could, bless him. And she made it very apparent when she come to stay at mine that my house was dirty. You know what I mean? She didn't want to be there. So then boom, isolation, always at her house. And my mum and dad, don't get it twisted, they did not want me around this lady. But what are you going to tell a 16, 17-year-old girl? Do you know what I mean? I was in college. I was at home bargains, £6 an hour.
So your parents had met her?
Oh yeah, they knew about her. They knew about her, and they did not like her one bit. Like, they did not want me around her. But again, what do you say to a teenager? Like, it just doesn't. You can't do it. Even the younger kids now, when I'm going to schools of the work I do now, you know, you're lucky enough to get their attention for 6 seconds. Luckily, I know how to work with young people.
You can talk to a teenager.
The destruction that's going on now. And yeah, you couldn't tell me shit, babe. And basically, yeah, I was in college and I was doing psychology, sociology, philosophy. And yeah, where by the age of 17, she disclosed herself as a prostitute. And she said she had knew then at that point that I was not gonna, she was like, you won't judge me, will you? Obviously, I'm not fucking judge her. I looked up to this girl. I thought she was fucking God. I'll be honest with you. I just wanted to be more like her. Like, it's sad. And yeah, I always think, like, you know, at 17, like, I kind of took my responsibility and said, you know, I know that I was influenced by the
female role models are in your daughter's lives, man.
Facts,
You know what I mean? It's
Can I
crazy.
throw something in there?
Yeah, I was gonna say her story's not adding up, to be honest.
No, I think it is adding up. I think shame has got a massive thing to do with it.
Shame.
That's why she's shame, yeah, because obviously, like, when you think of things when you're a kid, like, you're still a kid inside. So when you think back, like, all the stuff that's attached to it, I don't know. I just think shame, guilt, it has a massive thing. So I think with a lot of people, when they kind of explain their story, they really want to justify their actions in it. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I don't believe that you can't tell a teenager nothing. Like, if you have that relationship from early, then yeah, I'm not saying you can pattern a teenager, but you can guide them in it. You can guide them, and even make not making friends, but you can have influence on, like, the friendship and all that stuff in it. But I don't believe, like, you can't guide a teenager because, like, they're a kid, innit? They're a kid. Like,
I think girls are different.
Yeah, girls are different, but it's definitely individual anyway. Like,
girls are
each child is gonna be different. Go on, Sash.
No, saying like girls, I just think girls are different. I think what the way it hits in all directions for girls, like the standards of what we're supposed to be, of what is pretty, what is this, what is that. I think it's a lot for girls, isn't it? And I think it's hard. But yeah, I feel for the woman on the video, I think that she's spending a lot of time justifying herself. Yeah, she's justifying herself. And I think a lot of it's to do with shame, a lot of it's to do with guilt. I think there's such a, like, where she's saying things are glamorized. I think people just think, oh, if you fall into that life and you're a hoe or you're a dickhead or whatever, like, there's just so much shame around it because people just won't shut the fuck up and just understand, innit? Yeah.
Time, like, do we know what we was doing at that age? Like, do we know what we was doing at 17 and 16? Like,
and it's so easy to be manipulated.
It's easy to be manipulated now as a 32-year-old woman, mate. If I didn't know the shit I knew now, like, if you wouldn't have had this life experience, you can see how vulnerable and naive anyone can be. And these perpetrators know this, babe. They know this. So at the age of 17, I thought it was normal then to go and get paid to have sex with money, unprotected, with men up and down the country. Like, you know, I remember, you know, her showing me how to go and get into cars, you know, with guys and go and take this money from them. Do you know what I mean? Like, these things. And just thinking about the danger that I put myself in, like, and I didn't.
So it was rapid, though. It was very rapid. It went from her kind of teasing you girls to, and was it all three of you, or did it become just you in the end?
Me, because the other girls dispersed. They kind of went their own way, but I really got caught up in it all. Like, and it's sad because, you know, when I have told my story before, people are like, "Oh, it looks like you're blaming her," and that's why I always say, like, how can you say that at 16? Like, who the fuck knew what they were doing? You know, it took me a long time, years of therapy to understand
you're weak.
You're weak. Process and the amount of training I've had to have, and
he's weak, man.
For like a role model.
Exactly, babe. Like, and a lot of these young people are today.
Right.
That's
Hold on, Jed.
You know.
Right. 16 is the age of consent for sex. So she's saying at 16, like, do we really know what we're doing? Well, why is the consensual sex for age 16 then? Like, surely by 16, then society thinks you know what you're doing, right?
And she did claim that she didn't need her parents' permission because she already knew what she was doing. So that's what. But
Not only that, she claims that she comes from a decent background. The parents treat her good. So why the fuck does she want to get involved in that sort of relationship? It doesn't make sense.
I mean, I do agree. It can be. There's still obviously a lot of naivety when you're young.
Yeah.
But to say you don't know what you're doing, I don't agree with that.
It's a lot of. I feel like she's trying to like this excuse to like why she. Yeah, I think she's trying to like justify herself a lot.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to know it's not me.
I mean, like you do. Everyone wants to be accepted. Everyone wants to be loved and be part of. It's a tribal thing. It's what we are known to want, you know. But you can end up in the wrong tribe. So yeah, the thing of the matter is because I was 17, it's not actually prostitution. I was coerced into being exploited, and I didn't know that at the time. And not only that, like I'm here to expose the whole lot of this because that, like, I took a path into the adult industry. She introduced me to something called Babe Station, which is a show that some guys might know. It's a late night show. Some guys ring up thinking
everyone knows Babe Station,
man. And they pay £300 a minute. But I was a minor on that show. I would have been not asked.
17 then.
Yeah, so literally, so this girl, she'd introduced me to this show, and she was like, "Oh, just come down work." So I remember I was in college. I remember because all the freaking people at college was like, "Oh my god, it's Sam Brown!" Like, do you know what I mean? And I thought, "Bloody hell, you're a bit sad watching the stations, aren't you?" I didn't think so many people would
recognize you from.
Well,
wow.
one of the guys
but
from
them
my
stations
college,
were popping them days as well.
Yeah. If you're into that, I mean, like,
well, the guys are a problem for watching her be.
Like, you know
it's kind of like pre-internet-ish, you know. It was just
at the time it was there wasn't any like massive Facebook and stuff like that then. But yeah, it was mad. So she obviously at the time, like, I was a half naked child basically on the show, and it's mad because obviously that station's shut down now, but they didn't ask for my ID. They just assumed because I'd come with this lady that I was of age.
Very back door.
Babe, exactly. And it's like, how fucking mad is that? Like a minor on a show where guys are ringing up for sex, bruv, on the phone. And obviously, like, I was there.
She's blaming.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I didn't really consider a 17-year-old as a minor. I never considered myself as a minor at 17, and I didn't know I was being treated as such at that point, to be honest. So had I known that,
The thing I'm getting, Jedi, is that she wants to blame everyone else. Really, she doesn't want to take no responsibility.
She's the victim, and everyone else is like pushed her into these decisions that she made.
She's playing it like it was everyone else's fault. You know, that's what I'm getting anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I want to obviously hear more of what she says, but yeah, some of it like that kind of struck me as well. Like a minor, 17. I mean, 17, you could be 18 very, very soon, and once you're 18, then that excuse is fully gone out the window. So yeah, it's a bit of a.
She keeps like doing this thing of like.
It is young though, and that you are very impressionable. I just feel like maybe it's more of a product of like where I was at 17 in my head, where I thought I was like a big man in it, but obviously I wasn't. Just weird. It's just strange to hear someone referring to a 17-year-old as a minor. I don't know. Legally, it's probably true. I didn't think that. I thought you were at 16. I don't know. I don't know what.
It's so sketchy though, because in some degrees, when you're 16, there's things that you're legally allowed to do, but then in some regards, you're still a minor until you're 18. So, for example, you still need an appropriate adult at the police station until you're 18. But you can have sex when you're 16.
I think it's also culture as well, isn't it? Cause different, different culture that you growing up with. 17, you'd have been an older guy in it, whereas in that, you get me. So it's I feel like different cultures as well. If you get what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, no, different cultures and just individual upbringings can make a big difference in
Yeah.
you know, your level of maturity and also how much you've experienced in your own environment and externally.
There, and I remember just being like, you know, like really not like innocent and just being like this, and then it's just mad to think that this was considered the norm, you know. And I took that path, that Wicked Witch of the West path, and I went into the adult industry. She took
No,
me
it's
to my
not the
first,
norm. You know what I mean? She's saying it though it's the
my
norm. It's
first
not the norm.
scene and stuff, and
She's talking as though
it's
her life
insane.
is
I
the
just
norm.
can't
It's
even
not the
explain
norm.
to you. Like, it's so toxic. Like, I remember going to one of my first scenes and this family making out that they were, you know, again, accepting you into the family. You're part of the family now. Like, and I remember them warning me that everyone's going to say that this comes from bad mind. You know, everyone talks about us in the industry, but just ignore them. You're part of our team. Again, tribal instincts. They know what they're doing.
They'll just keep conditioning.
Oh
you
my God, the
constantly.
condition is so real. And obviously, like in the adult industry, there's levels. And when they can get your first scene in a level, it's worth a lot of money. Like, especially if you end up being a big name, do you know what I mean? Because they've got your first content. It's sick the way they work. And they're like, they introduced me to their kids, you know what I mean? Made sure that I was feeling really involved. She took me there. And little did I know, there was an actual pimp in that company. But I didn't know at the time. I dodged this one. Bloody hell, I think I would have rather had this one, to be fair. But
is this all still at 17 or was you?
So at 18, so this I went when I was 18. I did.
So
That's when I took my
everything's happening quite fast. Isn't it?
babe from my 17.
I mean, in 2 years, yeah.
Massively. And it wasn't really like about the last 6 months is when I was 17 that I got introduced to it, and then I ended up on the station. And then after that, I was like, boom, I was in, like, you know. And I always say I sold a part of my soul, and I just, you know, it took me a long time to get it back, but I did it. And it gives me such bad anxiety, you know, like knowing what's out there of me, because I just know where I was. I know how vulnerable I was. And not only that, like, I know what headspace I was in. Like, I'd already picked up an addiction. Like, I was already addicted to coke. Do you know what I mean? So when I got into that industry, that's where my money went. When I was on them stations, on base station, I was high as fuck, man. Like, they would take the mick out of me there, like, and label me something that was like, you know what I mean, basic, like a Dyson. You know, me and one of the girls there, we was always on it, you know. And that's what I mean, like this fake facade of this sex, drugs, and rock and roll. I'm gonna tell you some shit about the adult industry now. So it's full of exploitation. Now, you only have to look up about Trafficking Hub, Backpage.com, look at them being complicit in child rape, like, and human trafficking. But it's not just that. I was considered a very high-end adult actress because I won awards. I was on billboards in Australia. I traveled the world. Like, I was very high class and sorted after.
Traveled the world with it.
Yes, babe.
Wow.
Like, I went to Australia, I went to Greece, like, I went all the way across the world, babe. Like, you
So
know,
you've really seen it from all different angles, this industry.
Yeah, babe, and it's fucking disgusting. There's anal tears, there's feces. I cried so many times. Like, when I did scenes that I should never have done, and I just remember crying. And, like, you know, if you find out about the adult industry, a lot of the young people, I mean, a lot of the girls, because it's predominantly women anyway, because they only have so many male actors, because there's only so many people that step up to the job, and they get paid less as well, guys. They probably do. Like, it's just so fucked up. But anyway, like, a lot of the people in the industry have got a lot of mental health issues, and they have been through abuse themselves. You'll find it very, very rare that you'll see that there isn't a person that's been fucking.
And I've always said that most people in the sex industry have been abused.
Yeah, but we know that. We know they're being exploited. We all know that. She knew that as well.
No, but most of them have been abused, like, previously, like maybe in their childhood or something.
Yeah, but that's the point. She was not abused. She had a good childhood.
That's true.
So she says.
She wasn't, but she's saying most of the people had mental health issues because they had previous abuse. And that's a true fact.
Impressionable. But yeah, man, I seen so much. I swear to God, like, some of the scenes. One of the scenes I did, I remember I seen the girl and she was pushing him off, and if you think about it, like, I've watched rape, like, I genuinely have, like, and one of my scenes, like, I had to get asphyxiated because I was in that much pain. So I did one of the levels, and you know, the guy, he was like, I could see, and I, you know, I was thanking him for doing it because I remember how much pain I was in, and he passed me out, and I just remember coming to,
What?
you know, and this is the thing, like, people just don't realize about it. It's so disgusting. It gives a false sense of what a sexual, beautiful relationship is. Like, if you're carrying that into the bedroom, I can guarantee you right now, you are carrying exploitation into the bedroom. Like, I have got a very fucking loving relationship now, and I know about what consent is, boundaries, my human rights. Like, I know what feels right, and I believe in sexual energy, and that industry is rife for making it dark, toxic, unreal, everything's for the camera. Like, you're getting,
how long was she in the industry for?
You never get put in, like, and you're doing it all to make sure the camera can see it. Oh, like, it's just, yeah. So 3 years I was in that industry, and I picked
3 years.
up the cocaine addiction.
Bro, did you not just hear what she said?
3 years in the industry, you know, that's not, that's a long time.
Exactly, that's a long time, you know.
And she hated it. She hated that 3 years of that industry.
She hated it, but she was traveling the world and getting all these perks and whatnot. Yeah, she hated it.
Yeah.
Like, I was.
Why have you got a problem thinking that she hated it?
But yeah, from the way she speaks of it, it's like she has a. I don't know. I don't feel like I'm trying not to be very biased, and I'm trying my hardest not to be biased.
Bias? What do you mean bias?
I'm trying not to put her in this bubble of chatting shit.
Why are you doing it then?
Pardon?
Why are you doing it then?
Why do I believe that she's chatting? I believe that she's putting this thing of her being a victim and bringing an industry that she hated, but she was still working in it for 3 years. And I genuinely believe, like, certain industries, like, unless she was enforced to work in that industry for 3 years, then yes. But if she hated it, then she had the free choice to leave that industry that she was traveling the world with and go into Japan and all the whatever country she was going. So to say that she hated that industry for 3 years, I don't know. I feel like she's stretching, like she disliked it so much. You get me? But that's what, from what she was saying, that's what I understood. But I try not to hold that against her too much.
I hated being in jail.
But yeah, that's not the same, bro. You can't.
Why not?
Because, like, you didn't choose to go to jail.
The point is, I hated being in jail.
But you never chose. She chose to work.
And I had good memories coming out of there.
But she chose to go to work.
I chose to do crime, innit?
Yeah, but jail.
And I came out of jail. I hated being in jail, and I went back.
Now, jail and being a porn star's not the same.
And again. It's only different. It's only different. It's only different because you want it to be different.
No, because she was watching. She was not
only different. Listen, bro. You're not even trying to think, bro. So you gotta, like, you're not even trying to see it. Like, I'm saying, going to jail, going to prison was a choice that I made over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Her being in the porn industry was a choice that she made, but she didn't enjoy it, is what she's saying. So you can see the juxtaposition. I didn't enjoy going to jail, but I did it again and again and again. And I even had good memories coming out of there. So I'm saying, when this woman was addicted to cocaine and going through whatever she's going through mentally, even while she can see the choices she's making are not good for her, I can still understand how she found herself in a cycle of repeating behavior that was destructive for her ultimately. And because look, listen, bro. She's talking about years back. She's talking about she's done therapy. She's saying about she could see it now in hindsight. She didn't see this. She didn't understand that. Like, she's showing you from an older perspective, and she's looking back, and we're judging her, saying, "Ah, well, how could you have rare?" But maybe she was in a, you know, like,
I'm trying to see it from an open view. I am trying.
But the man them just get really judgmental. Like, I don't. There's nothing even to judge, bro. Just let the woman tell her story, bro. Like, what is it? Like, if we don't believe her, or we think she's chatting shit, then fair dude. We just say that with your chest. I think she's chatting shit. I don't think that she's. But you should give her. You should just give her a chance to that, and try to understand that. I think this is coming from a perspective of hindsight, not necessarily like she was clued up or or thought exactly like this when she was going through it. She's looking back on it. And I don't know, man. Like I said, man, you've been on road, man. You done bare fucked up shit.
But yeah,
listen. You did bare fucked up shit. And when you look back on it now, you're like, rah, that like I didn't even enjoy being on the roads. I didn't even enjoy this, enjoy that. Like, there was obviously some good times, but you get me. For me, I'll say that sleeping in a bulletproof vest was not something that I enjoyed, or you know, like not being able to go anywhere unarmed, or feeling like I couldn't go anywhere unarmed. That wasn't a good look. Or feeling like if I was out with my baby mother, I'd put her in danger, because multiple times I've been with my baby mother and it's popped off. Like, I'm just saying, innit? That didn't necessarily straight away make me change my life. Or having a son.
What is that?
Having a son and being sentenced to 5 years in prison. That didn't make me necessarily jump off road, but that caused me years and years, and my son years of pain. And I'm just saying, innit, yeah, even though she's telling you, she was getting fucked and it hurt, and this man did this and rare, like, it's a story she's telling you, innit? I don't know. I don't know if I'm making sense to you.
Yeah, I'm willing to listen, innit?
So he travelled the world and won awards, and he was only 21 at this point.
Yeah, so 18 to 21 it was. That's when, that's what happened. And all this time,
Did you have any genuine friends in the industry?
She was still my friend. Oh, well, yeah, I did. And I still speak to one of them till this day. She's one of my best friends. And, she come to court for me, and if everything you'll find out. Like, this girl was, she ended up being in one of the darkest parts of my life with me. And I love that girl so much. She's an amazing person. Her name's Stevie Louise, and she's just such a beautiful person. I'm so grateful for her. So when I got to 21... this was mad. So the girl that groomed me basically had gone in and out of my life. So I got into the adult industry, she got a boyfriend, and then she went out of my life because, she was just doing her thing. Yeah. And then she come back into my life. And I was making moves by this point, doing bits. And then we started to go to Vegas together, met the owner of Mayfair and everything. Like, it was mad. And I had big plans, but then at the age of 21, she introduced me to a man. And that man is responsible for 3 of the darkest years of my entire life. So this man got introduced to me as a gangster, someone who was going to change our lives, someone who could really make us... I got told basically when I was introduced to him, he was going to make us a millionaire within 12 months. The guy had already been prepped about me. He knew I had a coke addiction. He knew what I was in the adult industry. He seen money. he seen pound signs. And he promised me the world. So I am a survivor of human trafficking, and I am a survivor of satanic ritual abuse. And I want people to understand that what I went through with the being human trafficked, it happens a lot in the Western world. So it's called boyfriending or befriending. And they will do the same process as the grooming and the domestic violence. So they befriend you, promise you everything. Some of them end up, being like your, boyfriending. But this guy took more of a protector role on me. I'm your man. I'm here to protect you. You know what I mean? I'm going to get you this, because I wanted a production company, because I wanted to help girls, to show them how to get, if they were going to go into the adult industry, to show them how to get in it the right way, make your own website, you know what I mean, do your own stuff. And for the first 6 months, I was being massively groomed. So I was being told what to wear. I was being told what time to turn up. I was told I had to have certain things. He always liked Richmond Super King and Jack Daniels and Diet Coke. I always had to get these things. So I was just kind of being coerced into being human trafficked. And I was being told to give these targets. Now, I thought these targets were for the production company.
Did he work for the production company?
No, we were creating it. So it went to the extent of having meetings with the Sunday Sport, like looking for locations where we could shoot in, getting flyers. So we were basically, going, no. So the Sunday Sport was my connection, because I'd already been in there, and you know what I mean, and all this kind of stuff. And
was he like a money man figure, kind of like? Did he say he could help you with
He was
everything?
like an agent, like a protector, kind
like
of
a guardian,
person.
kind of.
Yeah, massively. And he, yeah, as I said, like he already knew about my coke addiction, so he'd always bring coke to start off with.
Yeah. So you're always high. You're not grounded whenever you're
around him. Yeah, well, most of the time, like I was anyway, like high. But yeah, he always made sure that when for the first like time, you know, when we was alone, you know, I was fucking at the start. It was like it wasn't bad, you know, but then it started to shift to a little bit of sleep deprivation. Do you know what I mean? 24 hours maybe. A little bit of a slap. Do you know what I mean? Being told to sort him out. And I'm not going to lie, like at the start, I was like, right, okay, yeah, I'll do it because I thought it was normal anyway. I was already doing what I was doing. And I was getting these targets. These targets were like, you know, $2,000 a week, you know, so much money. And then other girls were there to get these targets, but they were to get this girl's targets as well, because what had happened was when I come in, this other girl could stop working then, and then she could go and find other girls, because what her dream was to go and get be called Madam Wu in an escort agency. That was her dream. So she was then working towards that, and there was other girls there and stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like, and these girls were very vulnerable girls. They were girls that had been brought out from a site called Adult Work. He'd put out little ads to get them.
Wow.
Yeah.
And when you say there, where is there?
I'd been told that I'd have to move to Birmingham to show my loyalty. So I was really ready for this. So I moved from London in a very cushy apartment. Very, you know, I was living a cushy life, like people from the outside anyway. I did have money. I was in, you know what I mean, a good place. And he was like, move to Birmingham and get a place that you think I'll like. So what did I do? I want to go to the fucking penthouse above New Street, didn't I? Like, it was fucking trashy as fuck, mate. Proper little pimp yard, like little fucking, like, what, you know what I mean? Like fur on the fucking like seal, like, do you know what I mean, on the walls and shit. God knows what the fuck I was doing. Like, honestly, I thought I should get what he wanted, so obviously I was getting what I thought he wanted. So, and then I got punished for that later, because apparently that's not what he wanted. So, you know, hey ho. But yeah, so.
It's echoing a bit, I think, or is that just that audio?
I don't know. You have to ask someone else, because I can't hear it. I didn't hear it. Shaka, did you hear it? Sarah, did you hear it?
Pardon?
Sasha, did you hear it? Any
Yeah,
echoing?
I heard a little echo. A little one.
A little bit, yeah.
I don't know where that came from.
Probably the video.
Yeah, this I'm not gonna lie, yeah, I do feel like she's a little bit high now, but I don't know her. I don't want to make that assumption, but no, I'm not even.
What made you think that? No, what?
How fast she's speaking, the persistent way of going back and forth and adding. Honestly, I don't know, man. I just feel like she's yammering a little bit, just a little bit.
I think she's a bit broken, isn't it?
Right.
I just think she's a bit broken. You can see it.
Yeah, maybe. And like, there's a lot of sniffing, but I don't know. It's just because I know someone recently that was on coke, and they just, I don't know. Yeah, I hope she's like, I hope they get me. I hope she's not on it.
It was like being brought. So basically, we had a base which was there, but so
which was your home.
So this was my home. I was hardly there because I was always working. But to the girls, you got to imagine the penthouse looked pretty cushy, didn't it? So obviously, it was a really good thing for him to trap people, to bring them in. You know, Sam, you know, bring these girls in off Adult Work. You know, I'm at this point, I'm like, yeah, he's gonna make me a millionaire. He's fucking, you know, he's this, he's that. I'm giving him this money, like basically. So
you're advertising him, like
exactly, babe. Like, and this is what the worst thing was. Like, I didn't even fucking realize. But I was literally being broken down bit by bit. And this girl was obviously the girl that was grooming me. She was getting her money taken off her as well. And within 3 to 4 months, she'd done a runner. I was left by myself, but it wasn't hard for my loyalty to go from him to her, her to him, because she was paying her bills from my bank account. He had exposed all this stuff to me, because when we was on the set, she would always like, you know, get information out of someone, because he was like a master manipulator. He'd take you in a room, talk to you, bring you out, take someone else into a room, and you were never allowed to talk to each other, because if he found out you talked to each other, he'd show it's all the tests, your loyalties. So we'd find out. And he'd be like, oh, good, your loyalty's with her. But really, he wanted your loyalty with him. So slowly but surely, mastermind, babe. Honestly, the only way I can explain this guy is like Darren Brown, an evil Darren Brown. So Darren Brown is like a psychologist, and he's also a magician, and he shows people how he psychologically manipulates them to do what he wants them to do for magic. He was an evil version of that, and that's the only way
like
I
an
can
evil
explain
weak version, because it's like a whole bunch of women that are, you know, in really
vulnerable
situation, like, you know what I mean, and then they release their
fake power.
Yeah.
And then using the women to get over women as well.
Exactly. And it's called a sudden ease effect. So this is what they call
sudden ease effect.
Sudden ease effect in human trafficking. They take the broken girl and they get them to get the other girls.
Wow.
That's how they work.
It's a constant cycle.
Yeah, baby. It's a massive cycle. And the average life of a human trafficking victim is 7 years.
All right, so let me just round up quickly, just for
where we was
for me and Chris. So
yeah,
parents broke up, kind of an ordinary childhood, but then at 16 you met someone that was basically your groomer. And it was a woman.
Yes.
And she presented herself as like a lap dancer or stripper, you said, at first
initially,
and it started getting slightly sexual between you and some of the friends, and she would dance for you, and it was making you feel quite uncomfortable. Go forward a year, you're now introduced to Babe Station, was it?
Yeah.
Through her?
Yeah, and being coerced into exploitation.
Yeah, she's doing coke, as I'm not even gonna lie to you. Maybe she's done a little bit to try and ease it. She's getting off it, but she's definitely doing the coke, as know them as, man.
Wow.
Take the edge
you
off.
Traveled the world, won awards, so you've really seen the industry from like the kind of grassroots
top end
the top end level.
Whatever you want to, if there is a top end, but yeah, I was yeah.
It wasn't just you wasn't doing like amateur videos. Let's just say you've been It's the actual profession. Okay.
Very high end mansions, about like islands, like
Wow. Mansions and islands. Okay.
Yeah.
You're a credible source for basically.
Yeah, man. I'm here to expose all they people know.
The so-called conspiracies.
Yeah, exactly. And I know about this industry, and that's why I hope that all the producers now, I hope they're listening to me right now when they know exactly what they were complicit in, whether they want to think it or not, they will. Like, if I've got anything to do with it, they will.
Yeah. And then you was introduced to a man who became like kind of like a guardian figure and kind of protected you in a sense.
That's what he claimed. Yeah, I guess that's what he presented himself as, my man who was going to protect me and give me everything that I wanted in this world.
And he was quite a bit older than you. And
oh god, yeah, he was a lot older than me. Like he was more of a dad side, like kind of figure, like that kind of thing. Like that's what he presented himself as. And yeah, but then like I say, like it was always sexual from the start anyway, because of me being a sexual object. I was always like there to make the money, you know, but I just didn't know it at the time. So yeah, I think we've got up to the point of where it started to get dark, and you know, I just every time I go there, like I just can't believe like sometimes how evil someone can be. And as I was saying, like, this isn't about spreading conspiracy. This isn't about anything else, about me spreading my truth to protect other people, because I know now that man is walking the streets. And if I don't tell people, it's going to bother me. I have a care of duty to do this. And I'm putting myself on the line every time. Everyone knows how hard it is to share your most vulnerable parts. Some people will never share. They'll die with their story in them. But I'm doing this for every survivor. Like, I am the face of something that is very, very undercover, like that is pushed under the carpet. Satanic ritual abuse is seen as a theory, and it's not. And this guy, when he exposed himself as a member of the Illuminati, started to telling us, you know, to start looking at what it was. So, you know, we started to find out about things like subliminal messages, mind programming, and how things work.
Had you heard of the Illuminati yet?
Never.
So this is brand new.
Listen, babe, I was little. I was there in my Fendi bag, in my little world, cokehead world, thinking that, you know, if I was giving a fiver to the fucking homeless man, I was doing my bit. Do you know what I mean? And I was still, and at that point, I was looking down, thinking I was fucking better than them. That's the world I was living in, that artificial, superficial world that I can guarantee some people that are watching this right now might be in. And I get it. Yeah, you're not taught this in school. You ain't taught about any of this, and I understand, and I wish I would have been, because fucking hell, it can prepare you. Like, and I'm hoping this information can hopefully save someone, because if I can stop one person from going through this, then I've done my job, but I'm not. I'm going to go for millions, and I know I'm going to save millions of kids by doing this. So when he started exposing himself as a member of the Illuminati.
Any questions so far?
No, but I feel this is getting interesting.
Everyone else's mute button's just mad heavy, you know, like when it takes 2 hands to unmute, it's just like,
Just as a side note, it might help kind of get a better understanding. She does expose as well, like she does a lot of Instagram lives with people who've gone through satanic ritual abuse. So when she's saying Illuminati, I don't really like that term, to be honest. I think it's thrown around a lot. I think she just kind of means satanic ritual abuse, and that's rife in England anyways.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah.
He started saying weird things about Satan. Lucifer was his god. And that's when the consistent torture, the rape, the humiliation, the sleep deprivation, just the constant nights keeping us up, programming us, like beating us, and then beating one person, beating another person, saying it's in the name of Lucifer, that he called his god, you know. Started drilling, tell me about places where he would take me and jack me up on heroin, about these tunnels in North Wales that he would take me, just bringing in girls off the streets. Like, you know, at the start there was girls off the streets, but then he started to bring in girls that were heavily addicted to heroin and crack, getting them to rattle in front of me. Like, so basically what a rattle is where your body decomposes when you take hard drugs like that, because it's in your bone marrow. And these poor girls off the street were made to shit themselves in front of me, like break down to the point, like, oh, it was awful, you know, so that basically he could control them.
And he would make you watch, is that what you mean?
Yeah, make
and
me
he
watch.
would sit
like,
there watching.
He would be there. No, obviously it'd be my fault that these girls were going through this, and then obviously when I was getting a beat or a rape, like, it was their fault that I was going through that because they weren't obeying him. Like, so he would be turning us on each other constantly. We were always the enemy of each other.
Can I ask something?
Oh, and then
Please.
So this guy, yeah. So what is he? What is he? I don't understand how anyone.
This white guy.
Yeah, but what is he? Not even who. What is he? Is he a human? Because that just don't correlate. I just don't understand how anyone could find anything in that.
He's a Satanist.
But yet people do. Yet people do, man.
They're the most deprived people.
Man.
I don't. You know, people do this stuff and a lot worse. People are humans capable of anything. And like I said, you might struggle, or we might struggle for a motive of why, but I don't doubt that they're capable of doing anything, because we look at the world and we see the madness and we're like, yo, like, what? Someone actually does this. People actually do things, like, for real.
How far someone must fall? What the fuck, man? I don't know.
just the weird shit, man, the rituals, like, and I can't even explain, like, this guy, he would say things about, like, pedophilia openly, like, saying about the best blowjob he'd had was of a 5-year-old, and after that he'd slit her throat, you know, like, talk about, you know, if you keep fucking over on me, have sex with a dog and all this shit, like, do you know what I mean? Like, openly talking about bestiality, like this shit was normal. And I just remember, like, one night he'd kept us up for 5 days, like, and like I was saying to you before, baby.
Quick question: have any of you actually seen any tears? Any real tears? Genuine tears? Like, have you seen moisture?
I've seen her wiping her eyes, but I don't know if I've seen actual tears.
Or any moisture at all?
Her emotions are quite in and out. It's quite erratic.
It's more. I'm more concerned that she wants to feel sad about this, or she wants to feel upset.
Unless
This
she's numb to it.
doesn't mean it's not real, but like it's like
She might
she's
be
doing her
numb to
best,
it.
right? And she's doing her best parody of how she should feel. Because I'd imagine she would be quite numb. If she's seen all this stuff,
Yeah.
and she's spoken about this with other people. I don't think she'd be moved to tears at this moment speaking about it. But I don't know enough about this level of trauma to say that's true. Do you know what I mean? I'm just speaking from a small experience, and I just think I don't know. It's a
form of dissociation. It's dissociation, isn't it?
I was thinking the same.
You dissociate. You kind of That's deep, man.
I know.
I'm just thinking,
she was literally going to like break down into tears.
But it just doesn't happen.
You're like, you know, when you start talking about emotional stuff, like once you get to that point, it's like, I gotta let the tears out.
Yeah.
And then
it never happens. And I've noticed this a lot where people always seem like they're close to just proper losing it, and they don't. And then when you play it back, you realize there was never any tears anyway, never any tears. So the wiping away, I just don't know. Maybe I'm not. Yeah.
I think it's like letting go is hard. Just letting go. And you hold on to like a persona that you create under immense amounts of pressure. I guess I think everyone does it to an extent, but I mean, obviously her extent's just fucking way out there.
Wasn't like we was, you know, you think you're gonna fall asleep, like it's fucking SAS shit on fucking Channel 4, stay asleep, like, you know, just wake you up. Like no. I'm talking about being constantly beaten through these, and I only remember it was 5 days because of seeing the sun go up and down. And we'd hired this apartment, and we'd been told that the apartment that we was in, that we'd booked for 2 days, and he was like, book it for another 2 days in the other one, and we had to move apartments, and then we extended the day. But I just remember seeing the sun go up and down and up and down. And
you're being beaten all day in this room.
This is sick shit. So there's constant coke, there's constant narcotics. You're being kept up on these narcotics, and you know you're being drilled about this stuff all the time, like, you know, Satan and Lucifer, and you know what is live backwards evil. Who do you think you're living for when you've lived? The devil.
The more he kind of like told you about the Illuminati stuff, the more his actions like got worse.
Babe, it was like he was exposing himself to me, and he had zero fucks given. Like, he was talking about the Vatican, how he had all friends in high places, some of the victims had been taken to places, babe. Like, I never got taken anywhere, but he took people places and made them do stuff with other people, you know, like. It's not this guy, like, I can never even think of anyone as evil. And there was one time I was like, you know, I'm just gonna kill myself, because, you know, you just think, fuck it, like. And I remember he had a knife to me, and he was like, you know, I'm gonna kill you. And then he switched the knife on him and was like, grabbed my hand and was like, kill me, because he always used to try and see if I would, you know, push. I can't even fucking hurt a fly. Like, I'm not being funny. I hug trees. I might look like a little bit of a road gal and all that, but I'm literally like, I hug trees for a living. Like that. I can't.
I just needed to breathe. I'm not gonna say no. I just needed to breathe.
I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, I feel the same.
Yeah.
I think I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight now. I'm not even. I'm kind of scared. I think
No, this is a good bedtime story.
No, it's the opposite. This should have been a morning thing.
Do you think it's scary? Do you not think it's scary?
It's disturbing, man.
Yeah.
Disturbing,
for a
yeah.
normal person, it's mad disturbing.
These
people are roaming the streets. They could be sitting next to you on a bus or the train.
I ain't leaving my house ever again. Especially getting no bus.
That's good. That's good because they're in your house.
Oh, fuck off!
People, even now, like, it sounds bad, but I couldn't even hurt him.
Was he the only man in the house most of the time?
Yeah, most of the time. So basically, there was drivers and stuff and security that would come posing that, you know, they would drop us off and stuff like that. But he was always the one, yeah.
And so just a bit more clarity on the story. All the girls in your is it kind of like he's a pimp situation at this point now? Yeah. So you're going out, coming in, making money for him. You've got, you said earlier, you've got like targets.
So the targets stayed. They stayed consistently, but then they started to get bigger.
What happened to your place as well?
Oh, so basically, So after about, I think it was about a year, I was then told it would be cheaper not to live anywhere, put all my stuff in storage and live out of a suitcase. And that's when it started to be that I was like made to work 7 days a week. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was lucky to get Christmas off and my birthday. And it was just like every day, and I would rather work and degrade myself, because sometimes I had to degrade myself to as little as £50 an hour without protection to get this guy's money, because I'm telling you, I always got that money because I knew that if I didn't get that money, I was scared for my life, but I was scared for my parents' lives as well. Like, you know, he had their address. I really didn't want anything to happen to them.
See, there must have been a point where, because earlier with this lady, you said like you saw her as like a god.
Yeah.
When it transferred over to him, was it kind of the same at first?
At first, yeah,
Okay,
it was.
so
But then
there was no fear at first with him.
So at the start, no, and that's what it was. But then when the Illuminati come, I shit myself, because it was so weird. No, I'm not even joking to you, right? And you can look this up on YouTube. This is very, very real. So basically, once he disclosed himself, he had disclosed himself, and then he had like beat me in front of the person that was there. And he would like headbutted me and all this stuff. And then I went back to my house. When I went back to my house, I shit you not, I put Comedy Central on, I had South Park on. And I had Sky Plus at the time, and I remember, and this weird thing popped up. And if you weren't looking for, like, I was just basically just staring, because I was just like, I was in such a daze, and I was, you know, I got scared into my own, because I was at my dad's house, and I thought I'd feel safe if I went back to my dad's house, but I didn't. I still felt really scared. So I was just in a daze, like watching the TV, and I was watching it, and it come up, this mad like screen. So I rewinded it. Fucking said I was a member of the Illuminati, didn't it? And you can look this up on YouTube. Like, there's people that have took videos, because they actually do have on Comedy Central these mad subliminal things that they put up, and they'll put up something, and unless you see it, you won't ever see it. Do you know what I mean? Like, unless you rewind it and you're like, what the fuck is that? And they have these pages on there, like these basically like, you know, it fills the screen with all words. Just so happened the words for me that night, what happened to be, because there's different words each time, that that I was a member of the Illuminati. And obviously I thought, fuck, who is this man? Has he got into my TV? Is this real? Like, obviously I was like, fuck. I thought then this guy was fucking everything. So I always think,
really sorry, that confused me. I didn't understand. Your name came up on
not
TV.
my name. No. Sorry, it wasn't my name. It was kind of like, welcome to the Illuminati. You are now a member. And
that actually happened.
Yeah,
I'm sure I've seen that before. On I don't know if it's Comedy Central, but sometimes I watch like Family Guy or South Park. Well, I used to, but I'm sure that's Comedy Central. I'm sure I've seen that weird thing come up before. Actually, what channel does Adult Swim?
I've got no idea.
Do you know what Adult Swim
Family Guy
is?
and all them, they always throw. The thing is, they throw it quite openly.
Does anyone know has anyone seen Adult Swim? Like Robot Chicken and Black Jesus and fucking.
Is it Cartoon Network?
What's it, Mr. Cuddles or whatever? What's that dog, Mr. Tickles? Is it Cartoon Network? I don't know, but anyway. I've definitely seen something about Welcome to the Illuminati or some shit like that before.
Basically,
I don't know if it was hacked, because this is something that happens on Comedy Central, because I've obviously like looked this up, and it was in
weird coincidence.
Yeah, it was either like a very like, but again, like coincidences, like maybe they're doing these things. Maybe these cults do these things and they know, like, do you know what I mean? There's just the end of the day, since I know that these cults work in many different ways, and the way that the Illuminati work is that they are a form of control. They own the media, and he was very open about this stuff to me. He was saying, like I said to you, his friends about the Pope, the Vatican, you know, just talking about all his friends in high places. And, you know, I remember he used to say to me, he was like, if you think I'm evil, like, you have no idea about my friends. He's like, you've got one of the good ones. And I genuinely believe him.
Yeah, I mean, I have to believe him. If he's on the street still and trying to like hire out flats, it's like, well, he must be kind of low level still.
Dave, honestly, and he used to pride himself in being like, look at me, Sam, like, do you think anyone's going to suspect me because he bought these girls off the street? They're going to believe you and a bunch of crackheads.
So you was like a special one then? He only told you this stuff, did he? The
Well,
Illuminati
no,
stuff?
he did tell a couple of other girls and as well, and that's why I'm just, see, for me, this is why I tell my story, because I want people to understand, like, my story. I've got witnesses. The guy was put in prison, like, you know, he was outed by the news, and I was what got put on the news to expose my story as well. And it's like, if them things didn't happen, how many people have been dismissed with a story like mine because people can't comprehend it. I'm telling you, it's not okay that people are going through this stuff right now, and most of all, it's kids. If a kid went through what I went through, they would not survive. I'm telling you, they wouldn't. And if they did, they'd fucking be probably killing people. And that's why it makes sense why we've got such a broken society. Because people won't talk about their abuse anymore, and I understand, but it's so common. But satanic ritual abuse is more real than what people think anyway. Now,
so when you say that, did he teach you how to practice this kind of?
So he did rituals on me. So basically, like, but it's not like he didn't like use a pentagram or anything like that. He would just speak in tongue, and
did it seem credible, or this, like, did he seem like he was actually, when he was speaking in tongue, it's like...
He sounded like the devil, babe, yeah. And obviously as well, like, because I was around him a lot, like, the last thing I ever wanted to do was spend time with him, but for 3 years I was around him a lot. And I felt him switch. It's like, and sometimes I seen his eyes change, you know what I mean? Like, so I'm like, I really believe in, like, the fact that they can channel these demons and shit. Like, honestly, like, I literally felt it in him, and that's when he would do all of this weird shit and stuff. And I just remember him doing this weird ritual once. He said he was going to initiate me, and he would sit me down and he'd speak in tongue to me, and then he would make me open my mouth and he'd blow his air into my mouth. And it was weird. It was kind of like he was a softer person then, like, apart from like all, like, when he was doing that to me, he kind of like turned into a bit of a softer character. I was waiting for him to like jump me up, do you know what I mean? Like, thinking, oh my God, is he gonna like draw some blood out of me? Because one time, like, he punched me and my lip bled, and then he went and got my blood and like licked it. So it was like, I just didn't know whether what was ever going to happen. But the times that he did these things to me, he was actually like quite soft in nature, which was very strange. Like, when he was saying that he was like initiating me and doing these weird voodoo things on me. Yeah, so dark. Like, and you know, it was a challenging thing. Like, for me to get away, like, it was definitely God's work. Like, it was, without a doubt, it was universal. It was meant to have happened the way that it was. Because basically a lady, someone had come and they tried to help, and at this time when they had went, I wasn't ready, you know. But what happened was, when that person had gone, they'd started to go to the police. So I was there for about another 1.5 years by myself.
By yourself?
So yeah, but obviously other girls were coming and going. That's was always the case. I was just the one that stayed the whole time throughout it, you know.
Could you explain what, like, the mentality of why you stay? Because it must be so confusing for someone to understand why would.
I'm just trying to say, what was you doing? Was you eating?
I say, like, why would you stay if someone's hitting you? Do you know what I mean? I was like, are you fucking all right in the head, mate? What happens? It's like slavery. They break your mind first. Like, you keep the body strong and the mind weak. That's the only way that they can do these things to you, is they break your fucking mind. They make you feel like you're a piece of shit. So you accept that work and you think that that's normal. Like, they and then also as well, the fear, like, I didn't want to hurt my family. Like, I didn't want to fucking die. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, anything he said, I was like, yeah, whatever you want me to do, you know.
They put things in place so you can't like escape almost.
Yeah, babe, if you do, he was like, I'm watching you, remember, you know. I had to text this guy my taxi registration numbers I was in. Wow. You know, I had a separate phone, like a burner phone, do you know what I mean? Like, and if I didn't answer that phone, even if I was mid mid-client working, I was in trouble. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I
24/7 that is in your head.
constant,
and he's saying he's connected to like the Pope and stuff.
Yeah, big
like
people,
massive.
babe.
So like, yeah, the paranoia level would just be
different, babe. And he did plant punters. I know we did because the thing is, like, we can go on to like how I got away now. Like towards the end, like one of the punters was like, he was definitely planted by him, because when we were about to go to court, he was like, he rang me, this punter. And I wish I knew his name now, because I swear I doubt him as well. I really don't care anymore. Like, but I remember he was from Ireland, from Belfast, and this guy, and he was making out like he knew Steve, like, because his name's Stephen McAllister, by the way, and he's public domain. You can find his name anywhere, like online. He's been marked as the evil Pimp of Birmingham. And what people need to understand with the Illuminati, they have zero fucks either. If you don't do something right, they will grass on their own.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? They always do it, like Harvey Weinstein.
Especially he's a bottom man. He's a pawn to their game as well.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
They'll just get terminated. Yeah.
Literally. And
how many years did he get?
Oh God, this is the fucking tyranny of it. Like, literally, it's criminal. So obviously we all went to court. He got found guilty of trafficking me and a minor. And he got 8.5 years in prison. Didn't get found guilty of the rape, because it's near, if you look at the justice system, it's near enough impossible.
8.5 years. Sorry.
Like charge. Because
Crazy.
you know, you basically need to get raped and then do a swab. But every rape victim knows who the fuck's gonna do that? Try and scrub yourself with Dettol, mate. Never mind. Like, but you got 4 years on good behaviour. So he's basically fucked up so many people, like took so many lives, like guaranteed girls off the streets have killed themselves because of him. And I know they have, because obviously when he got outed, he was giving making our money, trying to make it into a charity, a single mum's charity. He was giving our money to these charities so we could go there, like the do-gooder, then started abusing people there as well. Like, these people are everywhere, and they just don't understand how much that they're trying to cover this up because of the way that they've been doing it for years, and they're getting away with it because of their sick little shit. Do you know how much money that I give that man? Nearly $250,000 minimum, babe. This is a multi-billion-pound industry. Makes more than that.
This one guy.
It's a shock. Really. It's blown, babe. Honestly,
and that was just you, not all the other girls.
Not all the other girls, babe. I was taking money off.
You realise how this is why it's
a massive, like, corrupt network.
Babe, do you know what I'm saying? Funny, like.
Did he have a job, like a fake job that he like?
No. Not that I know of, anyway. And when they outed him in the newspapers and stuff, he never. No.
And so the reason he went to jail, it was directly connected to your name and a minor.
Yeah, and also apparently he lived in a high-rise building, a high-rise flat, had kids, had a missus, like, and it's just no joke, man. It's absolutely no joke. So when I got away, basically, so that girl, bless her, had started the police process. Now, obviously, like, I'm here to expose it all. And you know what? There is some banging police officers. I'm so lucky for the police officer that come from my case. But the poor girl that had gone prior to me and gone back to the police to try and start this trial while I was still in the situation, fucking police officer, fucking female police officer, the way that they treated that girl, disgusting. She fucking come in there, mind you, it was like this. She was the young girl. She'd gone there. Fucking did that really happen to you? Are you sure? Huffing, you hear this girl is on her witness statement, bless her, on the video. You hear the fucking police lady huff at her. No, it upsets me because you don't know how hard it is as a survivor to tell your story, and the last thing you need is the people that are there to protect you to turn on you. And I'm telling you that I'm so glad, because the judge got her fucking taken out. Like, she's not a police lady no more. We were, again, there's corrupt judges, but we had a good one, and I want people to know that when I'm exposing this corruption, you have to understand there is good people in these industries as well. There is very good people, like there's amazing social workers, there's amazing police officers, but when people get in positions of power, this is what Steve used to say to me. And pay someone $2,000, Sam. You know, I only need to pay someone $2,000, like, because obviously the jury, they're civilians, aren't they? And he's like, people need money, Sam. He's like, I only need to pay one of them off. So obviously, and then because he said he shot his son for grassing to the police, no one wanted to really go forward. You know what I mean? No one ever wanted to, but this brave lady did. This young, beautiful lady did. And when she went, she was treated like that, and she carried on. She was like, there's a girl there now, go and find her. They obviously carried it on for 1.5 years. The courts, the police situation. And at this point, I'd had another girl that had come, another lady, and who was being exploited as well. Again, single mum. He's had a certain type, like it was a single mum or a girl that was like a crackhead or something. I was his prized possession. You have to understand, an adult actress like who was making money, willing to do these things, like you know what I mean, loving his life. And she already knew about the Illuminati. Now, this goes to the extent, guys, that I have actually got 666 branded on my finger. Like, it's not a joke. Like, this guy made me get this. Now, when I was there with this other lady, this was probably about a year after I got away, a year before, sorry. She said that she noticed the branding. And when she noticed the branding, she said that she had to stay. And she stayed for a few months. And she was the first person that made me think for myself, because I wasn't allowed to, you know, like I'm never allowed to question. I wasn't even allowed to call him. I had to call someone for him then to call me, but I never did that because I was the person that knew their place. And this lady, I was saying before how we worked with the isolation, she started telling me what he was saying. So she was the first person to be like, did you say that, Dave? And I was like, no. I was like, who said I said that? And he was like, Steve. And I was like, what? I was like, that doesn't make sense. Like, and then when she decided to go, because after a few months she went, she rang me and she was like, you have apparently stolen all my money. And I'm like, what? I'm like, Steve says you've got all my money. Like, and I'm just like, no, babe. And that's when I started to realize. And what happened then when I told Steve what had been said, because I always have to say, if he found out, I would never want them repercussions. So I told him, and then basically he said if I ever spoke to her again, he'd snap my jaw. So I wasn't allowed to speak to her. So I guess the cracks started to kind of creep up on me then. So it was like what the fuck? Like, that doesn't make sense, you know, like things. I just started to think for myself. And
so he's breaking out of the spell.
I guess it was the spell, babe. Yeah, I guess I just started to be able to think for my own self. The mind control.
And he was talking on behalf of. He was saying you were saying stuff and just fucking up your rep or something like that. Is that what you mean?
He was telling her, and like he did with a lot of people, that it was my fault about what had happened. It was me that had got him in the situation. It was me that had made all of this happen, and it was me that was taking the money. You know, I was the one that wanted to get everyone in the situation because it was my financial benefit, of course. So that's how it was portrayed anyway. And
what situation?
So the situation that all the girls were in when he was taking their money, and then because it was me, that it was all my fault basically, because I'd introduced them. You know, I'd been the Sudanese. I was the one that was saying he was the best thing since sliced bread.
So he's blaming you for it all.
Yeah, of course. Like any situation, then, you know, and these girls ended up then in obviously the same situation as me. He would then be like, well, she brought you here. She said this to you. It was her fault. And obviously he's been drilling them in the other room by themselves. But this was the first girl that said what he had said. And then with this lady, before she left, it was nice because I was allowed to go out for my birthday, and that's when I met the love of my life, who I'm with now, and that's when I started to get like someone loved me, and I guess I'd never experienced that, like. You know, obviously my parents love me, but I dismissed that. It was the first time I kind of accepted love for myself.
Yeah, man. So,
I don't know. Obviously, it's a sad story. People are like, especially when children are getting exploited. This happens to a lot of people, and what she's saying about like getting out of it and being threatened. I know this is the thing that happens. They get family information and threaten your family. But yeah, she found the love of her life.
Someone, and I kind of like thought I was worthy of it. You know.
You're right there, Jen.
You're right.
Cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
And
Just
yeah, it was mad because everyone else he could turn on each other, but he couldn't with her.
Oh, I saw her glistening there.
She was working at Mackey's, you know, she was
McDonald's.
yeah, my missus was at the time, and she
Wow.
was just, you know, she was doing a university degree in animation, and she was just such a good person. He couldn't do anything, and she just started to question me, and he seen obviously then there was a relationship forming, and then he had to play his cards a different way then, because he knew that obviously if she found out what was really going on, and I told her that, you know, there was potentially someone that could go to the police. And obviously at this time, there was already someone that was going through they was going through the police process and stuff like that. Obviously, as I started to get with my missus, and I was getting away, it was so mad. Like, so basically first, it was a case of,
I could see why she wouldn't be interested in willies anymore, though. It makes sense.
How long you held that on to? I'm sorry. You held that on for about 5 minutes. You held that thought. I'm done.
No, the thought just came. I'm not gonna lie. The thought just came. I could see why. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
yeah.
I'm muting
I get
myself,
you.
and I'm gonna sink into my sofa and cry. This is deep.
what I'm going to do, Sam, he made it really, really nice. You know, I'm going to let you stop brassing now, and we're going to get you to stop brassing on Valentine's Day. Really set up, really sweet. And then
so just so people know, he was gonna stop, say to people, you don't have to sleep with anyone anymore.
Yeah, basically
Okay.
that was the case. But I did have to still give him $2,000 a month from webcam, and I had to pay off this $5,000 coat bill that he'd made.
From webcam, that's a whole different story.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay,
so this is why people don't understand that the exploitation happens on every scale. Just be careful, guys. Like, you know, like as I said, the adult industry is fucking disgusting. So if you are doing it, you are quite close to probably viewing someone who is being exploited. So I obviously bit his hand off because I'd gone from $5,000 a week to $2,000 a month. But what people need to understand is, even if you're on webcam, you are still. I had bills to pay. I was, you know, still having to make $4,000 a month, which was hard.
Wow.
You know, so it was a case of, you know, including the coke bill and stuff. So I guess then, because I didn't have to start seeing him at all, because I was giving the money to the coke dealer to pass to him, I was starting to, like you said, break even more from the spell and think for myself and just get out of this mind control. And obviously I was being loved then as well. So it was good for me, and it was good for my soul, and it started to make me see things very differently about, like, what I was going through was wrong. And I remember she just gave me so much strength. She was like, "Sam, ring him." I was like, I just can't, babe, I can't do it. And she was just like, "But why are you giving him money though, Sam? Like, why?" You know, and I guess, like, because I knew I wanted to spend my life with this girl and have a family, I just started to think, if I've got to give this guy $2,000 a month, how the fuck am I going to be able to do it? So I was like, went to, this was the first time, I know. I remember going in my front room and I sat, I thought it was this couch, but it wasn't. I was like, oh, it's this couch, but it's not. I just remember sitting on the couch, and for the first time I rang Pete, because I wasn't allowed to ring him directly. So I rang Pete and I was like, "Can you get Steve to call me?" I think it was within seconds my man calls me, because he knows that had never happened in the 3 years. And he was like, "Are you okay? Everything okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's fine." You know, I just asked him, I was just like, "You know, why am I giving you money? I just wanted to know." And he was like, "Why are you okay?" And I was just like, yeah, I just would like to know, you know, because I'm struggling a bit now. It's hard." And he was like, "I tell you what, we'll call it quits." After 3 years of all of this stuff, he said, "Let's call it quits." And then he left it on him being a very, I guess, you know, he wanted to end on his protector mode. Like, "So remember, I made all this happen for you, Sam. So everything now, you know, it's because you deserve it," you know, because he's like, "You passed the test," or whatever. Leaving his little imprint to make out, you know, just in case I wanted to say something. No, he was the good guy, you know.
That little dig kind of thing.
Yeah, babe. And that was it. Like, and I remember 2 weeks later, like a police card come through my door. Obviously, I shit myself. I was like, nope, not today. Goodbye. Because obviously, you said about the setup. I was messaging the girl who we'd called Angel, and I was like, is this a real police card? Is this real? And she was like, yes, Sam, it's real.
Who was Angel? Sorry.
So Angel was the girl who was the girl who realized what the 666 was, who kind of was the first person
And
to
she
help me
stayed
to think
around for a while
myself.
long. Yeah.
So after, yeah, because the thing was, it's like we always stayed in touch, but I never told him. So that's when it was kind of like, you know, I was thinking, I was doing things that I was kind of like, yeah.
You were starting to almost manipulate and think back.
Yeah, because I was like, why should I not speak to this lady? Like, you know, I loved her kids as well. Her kids were amazing, and I was just like, well, why?
Started to get that in the stress.
Yeah, and I remember messaging her, and I was like, you know, is this real? She was like, Sam, it's real. Like, that's a real card. Like, and I was like, oh my God. And I remember the girl contacting me and saying, Sam, it's me. I need you to do this. Because obviously the police contacted me. I was like, no, fuck off. You know what I mean? And put the phone down. Like, and then they persisted. And I was like, no, I'm not doing it. Like, and then the girl rang me and she was like, Sam, it's me. And I just knew I had to do it. I just knew. And I got as many girls as I could. I tried to contact as many people as I could. And I brought a couple of girls with me, one of them being my best friend, who I mentioned because she was with me for a couple of months and I'm glad because she's seen how evil he was. You know, she never went through what I did, but she got abused by him. Like, he knocked her about, and he also, you know, she's seen the satanic stuff, what he was doing and saying to me, you know, about the fucking pissing in the mouth and all that stuff. Like, that's what she's seen. Like, she knew that was real. And I'm just so glad because when, you know, like from the start, there was girls that went and gone and, you know, they would have seen different parts of it. And because of everyone that come to court, the story was so consistent. There was girls there at the start, girls there in the middle, girls there at the end, and we'd managed to bring 7 girls that were consistent with all of it right to the very end. Even my partner went to the court for us to say about what he was like, and obviously towards the end and stuff. And yeah, it was amazing. The police lady, Katrina Sands, she's fucking insane. Most beautiful person, one of the most beautiful people I've ever met, and she was the first person to make me realize it wasn't my fault, and she believed me, you know. And I remember giving my statement. It was like 4.5 hours long, you know, like when, you know, the video statement. And we went to Crown Court because obviously what people don't understand is when it's magistrates court, if it's a higher prosecution, a higher crime, they go to Crown Court. So we was in Birmingham Crown Court for 3 weeks. The trial went on for yeah, it was mad because we had a screen, and even in the courtroom, he was doing his little manipulative little moves. Oh, little cretin, like turning around and like banging, you know, like banging on when one of us was giving us our thing, and one of the one of the victims, like, because she couldn't face being in the same room as him because of what he'd done to her, like she had to go, like, you know, a video screen. And he fucking went bam, 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 because what had happened was one of the times we'd gone to Thailand and he had made us go there and like pretending it was like a really good thing. And then he'd come over and he'd made us do some sick shit. He tried to make one of the girls kill one of the girls in the Thailand. Like, they took a working girl back and he tried to make her kill her and stuff. Fucking honestly. So, but basically he'd fucked up with his story. So he said he'd gone to Thailand at a different time, and the story didn't match up to his flight documents and all that stuff. And he was like bam, 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 and he was like, no, she's right. But obviously it was a psychological technique. Why you have to go bam, bam, bam? Do you know what I mean? And even when I was the court in there, he was like tapping on the thing to get his little defense little lawyer. She's a little cretin as well. Like, I don't know any. And you know what? Like, the worst thing about it is that defense person apologized to my dad because she fucking knew. And the fact that these people are getting defended, it fucking makes me sick. So yeah, we got him put in prison 8.5 years, trafficking me and a minor. He got found forced prostitution, for trafficking humans, and yeah, got 8.5 years and got out in 4. And this is why I'm sick of it, because I'm sick of the system protecting paedophiles and protecting people like this. I know people that have had a text message being sent to them and they've been given half the sentence that he has. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, for a fucking text message.
Because they must know this when they're doing it as well, that the risk isn't really
exactly what is it to them.
So they'll just carry on anyway, kind of thing.
Especially if they think they've got connections.
To people.
It's mad.
This is the thing, when he was in court, it's so funny. He was like, when he was about to get sentenced, he's like, "Oh, I feel sick, my arse is bleeding." And I thought, yeah, well, they're fucking gonna drop the soap, aren't you, mate? That's why. And I just thought, do you know what I mean? Like, I had to get my little dig out because I was like, do you know, your arse will be bleeding, mate? Like, and I never wish harm on people, but I believe in karma, and I'm just like, why make up something like that? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, what, for the jury to pity you? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, when you have children, he had children, like, he lived in a high rise with a girl, like, do you know what I mean? Like, and he was making out in society, he was a good guy and taking our money to charities. Like, and then it found out in the papers when they outed him, he was fucking exploiting people there as well. Like, honestly. And this is the thing, like, so, yeah, he was outed on the news. And obviously, then it took me, it was 8 years ago now. When it happened and I got away, you know, and we went through the whole court case because, you know, it took a little while after and stuff, like a couple of years. And I remember at the time I found, like, so for after a little while, I was still working. I actually still went back into the industry because I didn't know any different. But for the first time, the money was, you know, in a long time, the money was mine, but it didn't last very long, you know, with me and my partner. And that's why I love her so much. Like, she stuck with me through everything. You know, I was still doing the webcam. I went back to escorting for a little while because I had a debt. Like, I had no money. Like, I'd never been able. I think I was in like near enough 20 grand's worth of debt because I had no money, and he'd put me in an overdraft, and I'd have to get loans to pay things. Do you know what I mean? So I was in a really bad mess. So I had to get this money, and I went back on the Babe station, and yeah, world hadn't changed, you know what I mean? I was still taking drugs, obviously. I hadn't coped very well with what had happened.
So he's in prison at this time now.
So no, he's out this year, and that's why I think I've started to speak so much this year, because for 5 years I have been speaking about I think it's for 4 years, sorry, I have been speaking about my story. It was and I remember I told my story, and straight from the point, you know, and I am, you know, at that point I ended, and if we can't protect our future generations from these demons, and that's why I want to go over to them countries and now build safe houses and education common than anything else in this. Why are you dismissing these people? What? Because
and then your perpetrator or the person that person.
Yeah.
Yeah, big up to this for raising awareness, because it's true, like, you know, people need more awareness on what is actually happening out there.
Yeah, that's a super crazy, mad story, man. And yeah, big up to the young sister. I hope she finds some peace, and fire for all them little weirdo, pedo guys that want to abuse women and children and men. It's crazy, man. But for some reason, it just really sapped the life out of me. I'm mad tired. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, that was emotionally draining.
It's emotional and that. So, yeah, I'm gonna bid you lot farewell. Thank you for watching that madness with me. I didn't give you no like aftercare. It's just tough.
Yeah, I think I need some therapy now. I don't know why you're going now. That's not fair. That's just mean.
But I'm gonna do the therapy tomorrow, though. You know, 9 in the morning.
Oh my gosh! If you want therapy, I swear there's vaccine available right now.
Vaccine.
I mean, like the one to download.
Yeah, that's true, you know.
Oh, touche.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. That's true. Go check this song out, man. Red Pill, Trill, and Todd's Vaccine. It's excellent, man. Go bang that. I'll put the link.
Screenshot it and send it to Jed's, isn't it?
Yeah, it says pre-order, but it's available now. So.
All right. See you guys tomorrow.
Good
Yeah,
night.
man. Yeah. Tomorrow, man. Big up everyone. And
Big up.
Good night.
yeah, don't be afraid to like go to the bathroom and not turn the light on. Do you know what I
You
mean?
know what? I'm done with you. I'm never coming back. You know, I'm never coming back. This is only my second day here. What have you done?
It's all right, man. It's all right, man. It's only a bit of Satan. All right, in a bit.
For fuck's sake.
Nah. For real though, like I just feel like that sister. It was a mad story. I feel there was a lot of dispersions, cussing, and even I can see where we're coming. But I genuinely do. I do believe her. I believe mainly because I've kind of witnessed something and been through similar experiences that I've shared with the panel. So I do actually believe her. There's certain things that she said that you get me, like when she's talking about possession and things like that, blah, blah, blah. These are things that I believe are real. And the way that the man talks and the way that the man's so open and brazen, I'm sure that's more than possible. And there's probably aspects of her experience that she doesn't understand because she doesn't have that, or she wasn't given that level of information or whatever. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, she probably got a lot of memory loss. You hear me? Yeah,
Right.
it's a deep story.
Well, thank
All right,
you
bro.
for fucking my shit up.
Nah, man, you're good, man. You're good.
All right.
Tomorrow,
Well,
innit? Peace.
cool. Good night. Good night.
Good night, everyone, man. Enjoy yourselves. And yeah, tomorrow we got. Remember, tomorrow we got the big debate. Yeah, M Stacks versus Beefy. Should Muslims follow the hadiths and deem them credible? Something like that. Yeah, but that's the big debate tomorrow at 8 o'clock. And yeah, we got a couple of things lined up for tomorrow. Anyway, it's gonna be good. And I'll be like live from the studio as well, so it'll be a good look. Plus, vaccine is dropping tomorrow, or is dropping now. So go and search out Red Pill Trill and Todd's vaccine. Give it a stream, a download, show it some love. Do you know what I mean, man? And yeah, man, sleep tight. Don't let the Lucifers bite, innit?
Hey, listen. She said something in that video, yeah?
What'd she
She
say?
said that this is going to sound proper cheesy, but she's like basically love set her free in it. So, as gay as this sounds, big love to everyone.
Well, yeah, what I took from that story is Fanny solves a lot.
Okay. Good night. Good night.
Peace. I appreciate that, man. Hit the like button on your way out if you haven't already. Do you know what I mean? And let me wake up to a little something in the paper. It surprised me, innit? Like, nice people seem to do stuff like that. I wake up to, oh, lovely. Yeah.
Stay blessed, my brother.
Yeah. Bless, bro. Yeah, man. Catch you up tomorrow if you're about, man. Peace.